Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Shayla, if this is your first time here. So in today's video, I'm going to be updating you guys on my nutrition because you know, every couple months it does change. My fitness and just like my mindset now. I've been on this fitness journey for, okay, it's been longer than 2 years, but I feel like I really started to understand like, okay, you have to eat a certain way and you have to lift a certain way and you have to cut out cardio. Like that kind of clicked for me about 2 years ago. So I'm gonna say I've been on this fitness journey for 2 years and so much has changed. Okay, so most of you guys know when Les and I started dating, which was over 3 years ago, before we even started dating, I gained like 10 pounds. Like I was just, I don't know what's going on. Okay, I was just all over the place. And then once we started dating, honey, we went out to eat all the time. I was eating what Les eats, and Les eats, okay? Like he'll have like 2 entrees, like he eats a lot. So I'm over here like, oh, I can eat too, living our best life, happy. I gained another like 12 pounds. And then that's when it kind of hit me. Like I saw myself and I was like, dude, like I don't even recognize myself in the mirror. I just didn't like how I looked. I think everyone has a certain weight or a certain look where you're like, okay, time's up. Okay, we need to get our life together. So long story short, I started the keto diet and I was on keto for 1.5 years. That diet, like, I really do love the keto diet. It's not for me anymore, but I do love it because it taught me so much about nutrition because, you know, when you're on keto, there's a lot of food you can't eat. So you really have to look at the ingredients. You have to understand everything that you're consuming. And so it really just, it was like that diet that kickstarted my understanding of nutrition and also the importance of cutting sugar because I do think sugar is the devil. I mean, of course, I still have sugar here and there, but on a daily basis, like sugar is no ma'am, no. About 1.5 years into keto, okay, I started to feel like my body just wasn't making the changes it needed to make. And, you know, on keto, you're really not supposed to consume liquor often. And I'm not saying that I drink every day because I don't, but on the weekends. And all of you out there who are saying you can drink on keto, you're not supposed to, okay, period. There's like no argument there. It spikes your insulin. You're really not supposed to consume a lot of liquor. So for me, keto just didn't, you know, work for my lifestyle. I still have a lot of respect for the diet. If you're on keto, I think it's great. I also, now that I'm not on it, I think if you're in that position like I was where you gained kind of a lot of weight in a short period of time, or maybe you just had a baby, or maybe, you know, just life happens, okay, and we gain and that's just how it is. If you're in that same position that I was in, I think keto is an amazing way to jumpstart your weight loss. And you know, even to this day when people are like, oh, would you recommend keto? Absolutely. If you can commit to it, if you can do it, it is a lifesaver and just like a game changer. So I was on keto for about 1.5 years and then I'm working with a nutritionist. It's at Working Against Gravity or workingagainstgravity.com. And, you know, she told me, she's like, hey, like, I just think, you know, I think you could just go off keto and you'll be fine. And I was just like, eat carbs. You know, because most of my life, like, eating carbs to me meant weight gain. And I think that's another reason why keto worked for me because it's very low carb and I was okay with doing that because my whole life, carbs, gain weight, carbs, gain weight. I just didn't have the right information. So I was talking to my nutritionist and she was like, yeah, I think, you know, you'll be fine. We'll keep you at the same calories, not the same macros, but the same calories. So you won't feel like all of a sudden you're jumping into eating all these carbs. And really, it was an easy transition. So this is 2019 now, which is, yeah, last October, I got off the keto diet and almost immediately, like maybe 2 weeks in to being off keto, I started to notice more definition. And this also does coincide with me lifting more, which we'll talk about a little bit. But as soon as I got off the keto diet, I noticed that I was building more muscle and I was just looking super lean. Like people on Instagram noticed it even before I posted that I was off keto. So many people were like, oh my God, what are you doing differently? Like my body started to change. It was really dope. It was super exciting. That's why I'm like, I don't know if you guys can see it, just like I get really pumped. Because it's like you work so hard for so long and then to see the results and then kind of reflect on it, it is pretty It's pretty exciting. So before I started keto, before I started working with a nutritionist, I had no idea what macros were. I didn't even understand that you need to eat more to lose weight, not eat less and starve yourself. So, you know, I really started to understand nutrition when I started keto about 1.5 years ago. So I feel like I'm still fresh in, I'm still learning. Before I start telling you guys about macros, my macros, and what I eat, you know, I want everyone to be open-minded. When you start this fitness journey, you know, I think it's easy to judge what other people are doing, but it's a journey. You know, like 1.5 years ago, you might have been looking at me like, oh, she's crazy, like she's not eating the right food for herself. And now I've kind of evolved into that. So it's like every step of this journey, you're constantly learning, and you have to go through that learning period to figure out what works for your body. So, you know, sometimes I post things or I say things and people are like, oh no, you shouldn't do it. You know, it's like we're all learning, and I'm still, like I said, I'm still on my journey. I'm still learning along the way, and I really just want to share everything with you guys. So let's get into what I eat in a day. I'm at about 1,950 calories, somewhere in there, not quite 2,000. I think it's 1,945. And basically I start my day, I get up, I don't eat before I work out. I just like how my body feels. I know some people need that extra energy. I don't. I'm just like, I'm fine. That might change next time we make this video, okay? But as of right now, I wake up, I have my pre-workout, which I really like. PE science. It doesn't give me the jitters, and that's kind of like my routine. I don't drink coffee anymore, which I think if you like coffee in the morning before your workout, listen, go right ahead. But I like having coffee after I'm done working out. I like just chilling, you know, eating my toast, having my coffee, and just like having that moment to kind of just relax after my workout. Like I just enjoy my coffee that way. So pre-workout, okay, water. I drink a ton of water. I go to the gym or work out at home, and then as soon as I'm done with my workout, like I don't really time it. Like, I don't know if people are crazy like that. Like, no, I have to eat within 10 minutes or something. No, I just, as soon as I get home, I'll make toast with peanut butter. Oh, so good. So good. Toast with peanut butter and bananas, you guys. Oh my gosh. I like this Alvarado Street bread that you get in the frozen aisle at Whole Foods, and it has protein, it has carbs, it has fiber. It's so good. So I'll have that with my coffee, and then I also like Greek yogurt because Greek yogurt has protein in it. It has like hardly to any flavor, which at first I was like, oh no, we don't like her. But I add stevia to it. I'll add strawberries, berries, either blueberries or blackberries. What else? Oh, and flaxseed. I love flaxseed. I don't add flaxseed every time. Sometimes I forget, which is fine. But that's kind of like my recovery meal. That's the meal that I like to eat after my workout. And then about 2 hours later, I'll have my second meal, which is lunch. In between, I'm only drinking water, so I do not snack. Okay, you could snack if you wanted to. You just have to fit it into your macros, but I do not snack. For me, it's more of like a time management. Like I don't like going in the kitchen every hour and eating. Like I'm more about, okay, what's the fastest way I can eat my food? And not literally like eating quick, but you know, without spending a lot of time in the kitchen. So for lunch, I'll have a quesadilla, a cheese and chicken quesadilla with hot sauce. Hot sauce is 0 calories, Tapatio A. And then I'll have a side salad with cucumbers. Cucumbers are very filling, and they're low carb, low macros, low everything. So I love cucumbers, avocado, chicken, cheese. So the same cheese that I'm using for the quesadilla, I'll also use for my salad, and that's my lunch. I just recently switched from having eggs and like ground chicken to a salad just because I'm not eating enough vegetables. So this is my way of incorporating, you know, more vegetables. And also every month, like I need to switch it up or else I'll start to get bored with my meals. So that's my meal of the month. And yes, I eat the same thing every single day. It's called consistent. Okay. That's what we do. It's easy for me, okay? And then for dinner, I'll have chicken, rice, and asparagus. And I usually keep it pretty simple. So I track everything that I eat, which means I'm weighing every single thing. And it's a lot of work, I'm not gonna lie. It is a lot of work, but it keeps me very consistent. And I think because I track, I keep my meals very simple. That's why You guys see me eating the same thing every day. It's easy to copy and paste my meals on the MyFitnessPal app versus trying to like constantly come up with something new to eat. So a lot of you guys are asking about macros. I definitely suggest Google it, do as much research as you can, because the more you understand, the easier all of this eating healthy nutrition becomes. So your macros are your carbs, your proteins, and your fats. Your calories are all of your macros combined. So this is what you don't need to really think about on a daily basis. So basically there's 4 calories per gram of carbs, 4 calories per gram of protein, and I believe 9 calories per gram of fat. So if you have 100 grams of rice, which is a carb, multiply that by 4, boom, that's 400 calories. So that's how you get your calories. And right now, like I was saying, I'm at like in between 1900 and 2000 calories a day. I'll put the exact number up in here. So how do you know your macros? I know you guys already know what I'm about to say. Listen, Google. There's free macro calculators out there. Literally Google, and I put links in my previous videos, but Google free macro calculator and boom, it'll pop up right there. So you just have to put in your height, your weight, your activity level, and then they'll calculate your macros for you. Most of the time, you guys will probably be shook. If you've never done that before, you'll be shook at how much it's telling you to eat. Yes, you have to eat a lot, okay? You have to eat to lose weight. You have to feed your body, and I think we're kind of taught at a young age that eating less means losing weight, and that's just not the case. It's just, I'm like trying to remember, I'm like, who told me? Like, why do I even think that? I think it's just one of those things that is circulating, and it's just not true. Like, don't be afraid to eat, especially when you're cooking your own meals and you know exactly what you're eating. All right, let me show you on my scale. Very simple, very basic. I got this on Amazon. Almost everything that I measure is in grams, but some things are in ounces. So I just put my plate on here and I put my food on here, and that's how I measure it. So it's really that simple. So if this was flat, I would clear it out, and then I would put this on here and I'd be like, oh, okay, it's X amount. Obviously the bottle weighs something, but you know what I mean. Say this was like a cucumber. Okay, I'd get my portion out and I just set it here. Boom, 190 grams. And then I'll go on MyFitnessPal, which is an app, and I'll literally log it in, and then it tells me how many, calories I have left. For instance, my breakfast is, that day it was a lot. It was 800 calories. So it was 80 grams of fat, almost 80 grams of carbs, almost 40 grams of fat, 45 grams of protein. So I put everything in MyFitnessPal app, and it does all this adding and subtracting for me. So typically for me, I'm such a planner. Like, I'm very much a Virgo. I don't know if you guys are into signs, but I like to plan out my meals a day in advance so that I'm never like, oh, what am I gonna eat? Like, I don't know, like trying to figure out what meal to cook. So I usually just copy and paste from the day before. Okay, Monday through Friday is copy and paste. We're eating the same thing every day. So I copy and paste it, and then as I'm weighing everything, the numbers will change. Like, one day I might have a banana that's 4 ounces. The next day it might be 3.7. So as I'm weighing everything, I'll go in here and just correct the number and make sure it's accurate. It does take time, but it's easy. It's not hard, okay? So my advice for somebody who's like, okay, like I wanna start tracking, I don't know how. 1, buy a scale. That's number 1, you have to buy a scale. 2, download the MyFitnessPal app. Okay, that app is super helpful. And then it's pretty like self-explanatory from there. Like, it'll tell you, like, you enter the food and then it'll show up. There's also so many tutorials on how to use MyFitnessPal app, but it's very like simple. You guys will get it right away. And then you just have to start tracking, and then you'll have trial and errors here. Like, there was one time I was inputting food that was raw versus cooked, and that does change the weight. So little things like that, like, you'll just learn along the way. That's really like how you guys can start your fitness journey. Yes, fitness journey starts with food. Okay, your nutrition needs to be, you need to be eating right, you guys. You can't be eating out every day and expecting to see results. You can't be having Chick-fil-A. Listen, you can't be having McDonald's every other day or every day and expect to see serious results. I'm sorry. I know there's somebody out there that needed to hear that. Listen, you can't be eating out every single day and expect to see results. You need to cook your own food, because when you go out to eat or even take out whatever, even if you're getting a salad, there's just so much added in everything. So when you go out to eat at a restaurant, they're cooking with butter, they're adding all these extra like fattening things. So it's really important to cook your own food and staying consistent. I got a question the other day. Someone said, how do you stay consistent? And for me, consistent means doing the same thing every day. So I have my routine. Monday through Friday for me is very crucial. Like, it needs to be consistent. So I wake up, go to the gym. You guys know my routine if you follow me on Instagram. I do the same thing every day, okay? But that helps keep you consistent. I eat around the same time. I stick with the same meals, and then I'll switch it. Instead of trying to switch up my meals every day, I'm switching it every month. You know, and if that's too long, you can switch it every other week. That's it. That's a secret right there. So before we get into like what I do to work out, which will be pretty simple, simple explanation, I want to talk about like cheat meals and snacking. I don't snack. I think for me, everyone's totally different. So if you snack, if you whatever, just make sure you track it. But for me, snacking, it builds like a habit for me. So like if I go and snack on food, one, I don't track it, which is what gets me in trouble. So if I go snack on some food, like I notice the next day I'm doing the same thing, and then the day after that, and all of a sudden I'm in this routine of eating when I'm really not that hungry and snacking. So I just really avoid snacking because it just builds bad habits for me. That's just for me. All right, let's talk about fitness. Okay, let's talk about fitness for a minute. So I would say I probably spent, like this is years ago, I probably spent like 6 years doing mainly cardio. I just didn't know, you know, I didn't know. So for me, like I like to look strong. I like to look tight. Okay. And the secret to that, to getting toned arms, like my arms are starting to finally get toned. And I've been working out for, you know, a while now. I've had personal trainers. It just didn't click for me, people. But I look at, it's all starting to come in. You know why? Because I lift weights. I cut the cardio, okay, and I started lifting. I'm not even boxing anymore right now, mainly because of coronavirus. Yeah, that's like the secret to getting toned is you have to lift weights. You have to get this mindset out of your head that cardio means you're losing weight. No, cardio means you're burning calories. Weightlifting means you're burning fat. Period. That's on period. So, okay, let me run that back real quick. So the first time I ever had a trainer was probably like maybe 6 years ago, 7. It was a while. And I trained with him 3 times a week, 2 times a week. And when I wasn't training with him, I probably wasn't working out, or if I was working out, I'd go to the gym and I'd be on the treadmill for an hour. I can't even believe I do that, you know? And also, you know, when you work out, you really need to focus on what you're doing. So like if I'm doing bicep curls, I'm like, okay, let me make sure I can feel that my biceps are engaged. Like, you know, I'm focused. Before, when I would have a trainer, I was just kind of going through the motions. You know what I mean? So now I'm a lot more focused, which I think sometimes that just comes with time. Sometimes that comes with understanding the movement that you're doing. So like every time you're at the gym and you're working out, like try and understand what body part is being activated. So biceps, oh, okay. Or if I'm doing shoulders, maybe, or a pull up, you know, there might be back and biceps. So I think just having understanding of what you're working out can help you focus in the gym. But for all of you guys, listen, you guys, okay, listen, this is very important because it took me years to understand this. Cut out the cardio. Okay, you don't need to do all that cardio. You don't. I would say 20, if you love cardio, 20 minutes. The rest is weightlifting, unless you want a super kind of lean runner's body, you know? It just depends on your goals. Like some people like that, but if you want to burn fat, you have to lift weights. All right, let me talk to you guys a little bit about my workout split. So Monday, upper body, Tuesday, legs. Wednesday will be a 2 muscle focused day. So triceps and shoulders, back and shoulders, whatever. And then Thursday is leg day again. And then Friday is an upper body circuit. So upper body is biceps, triceps, back, shoulders. you know, all that, lats, everything. And so that's kind of like how I split it up. I usually try and have one day that's focused to my upper body, 2 particular muscles, and it's usually almost always shoulders. Like, ladies, if you want, and everyone else, not just ladies, if you want this look, okay, say you're not curvy, but you want this look, build those shoulders, okay? Like, when your shoulders start to look a little bigger, okay, and I'm not saying they're gonna look like her, like this, but when your shoulder starts to get a little volume up in there, it gives you this type of shape. That's the secret. That's secret. So where do I get my workouts from? Honestly, I get them from Instagram. I'm not even, it's free. I don't even go on YouTube. I go straight to Instagram. And now that I'm constantly looking up workouts, they just kind of pop up on my Explore page, and I'm always discovering new people. There's so many people out there that post their workouts every day, and you can even see how they split it up. That's where I get my workouts from. You know, sometimes I'm stuck doing the same thing, and I'll look and I'm like, oh, let me try, instead of just doing a bicep curl, let me do a bicep curl straight to a shoulder press, you know? So I get everything off of Instagram. And if I know I'm doing an upper body day, I'll just, right before I head into the gym, I'll look up upper body workouts, and boom, it's right there. It's right there. So I want to finish the video just by talking about my personal goals. I think when I first started keto, I was kind of obsessed with losing weight. Like, oh, I want to lose weight. I want to hit this specific number. And I would say I'm like 5 pounds heavier now that I'm not on keto, but I look leaner, like I look more toned, I look tighter. I definitely have more muscle, so I don't want to even put out there like, oh, I'm trying to lose weight, because my goals have definitely changed. Like, a couple of years ago, I was like, no, I want to lose weight. And now I'm starting to understand, like, listen, like, I might be at the same number, you know, that I was a year ago, but honey, she looks a lot different, okay? From the moment I started keto, or right before I started keto to now, I had lost like 20-25 pounds. I'm still in that same range. Like, I haven't gained, you know, back pre-keto weight. Right now I'm just focused on gaining muscle, toning, losing fat, and that takes time. Like, losing fat and gaining muscle doesn't happen like this. Like, it's not like this. Sometimes you might gain muscle and you're just like muscle, and the fat might just go down a little bit. And then 6 months from now, you're like, oh, look at that. Look at that. I see the little. So I'm just really not focused on numbers anymore. I'm just looking at myself in the mirror, and, you know, every other week I'll evaluate myself, like, okay, let me see if I see a difference. And sometimes I don't. I did a 1-year comparison with my nutritionist. Every week I check in with her, and I'm like, oh, she's not, like, I see a little difference. But when you put those 2 pictures side to side from 1 year apart, you're like, oh, okay, I have made, you know, a little bit of change. And that kind of makes you realize, like, these changes that I think sometimes are advertised on the internet, like, oh, it happens in a month. It doesn't. You know, getting toned, building muscle isn't going to happen overnight. It's going to take, in a lot of cases, you know, like years. I don't want to scare you guys or discourage you by saying years, but, you know, when I see people and their transformation photos, it's never, 3-month transformation, unless they just gave birth and they're already in shape before and they're just getting back the muscle memory. No. If you're making a lifetime change and you're changing how your body looks, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time, so you have to be patient. That's pretty much like what I'm trying to, the message I want to tell you guys is that if you're putting in the work, you're eating clean, you're cooking your meals, if you can, you're tracking your macros, you're lifting, and you're like, what's the missing factor? Time. And that's the most frustrating part, because you put in all this hard work and you want to see those results right away. I'm very impatient. I'm like, no, I want to see them now, you know. But it does take time. It takes time. My tip to anyone who's who wants to start the journey, who's maybe, like, I get so many comments like, oh, like, I just gained like 20 pounds, 30 pounds. What do I do? Stop eating out. Okay, cook your own food, cut out sugar, and you have to be disciplined. And discipline means you're putting restrictions on yourself. So that soda every night that you drink, cut it out. Okay, you have to stop. The ice cream you eat every night, cut it out. And maybe it's not food, maybe it's something else, but you know, you have to make significant changes to see significant results. I know that was a lot of information, and I just hope that with this information, it encourages you guys to do your research your macros, start understanding nutrition, understand that you have to eat. If you do want to make changes to your body in the gym, you know, you have to lift weights. It's definitely possible. And the best thing you can do is just start. You know, like you have to stop with the bad habits and start with the good ones. And that's only gonna happen if you actually do the work and start. I love these videos where I'm just talking to you guys about my experiences, because I'm just like, oh, I just hope it helps somebody else or encourages someone else. But yeah, I'm gonna keep you guys updated. I love that you guys are here along my journey and you've seen kind of from start to finish the real-time transformation that's happening, because I think a lot of times we don't see it in real time. We just see people who are very fit and they're like, oh, you just do this, make it sound so easy, and it's not easy, but it's doable. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. You know, I'm always here. Comment below. Let me know if you have any questions, thoughts, requests, whatever the case is. I'm here for you guys. You know, we're in this together, and I'll see y'all next time.